Greetings, everyone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Robotics to become everyday part of Jamaican life by 2030, says PM. Now, many persons are scared when they hear about robotics becoming a part of our lives because they believe that robotics are going to replace human being in the workplace, human being in the parking area, and so on and so forth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is just like the era when we used to wash with our hands. And then there comes the washing machine where we can take our clothes and just put it in the machine, turn on the machine, and the machine wash it for us, making our work more efficient, making doing laundry more efficient and more manageable than when we have to spend hours, sometimes days, washing with our hands. The washing machine makes it easier. Now, ladies and gentlemen, many of the jobs persons are employed in are services that people provide. For example, to sweep up to clean up a garage or to clean up a parking area, they would provide a service and they would use human being to do this service. And what you find out is that a lot of these human beings that they are using to do this service are persons that have even greater potential. You don't want to be a graduate and then only to find out that you end up with a job where you have to be sweeping up places. You don't want to end up with a job where you have to be dusting down, cleaning up an office, or so on and so forth. The robotics can do all these things while you pursue your goals. Now, a lot of persons are saying some of the jobs that we are trained for are not available here in Jamaica. What you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is research the job markets, find out what is in a heavy demand, and do courses, ladies and gentlemen. Become an expert in that particular field, because as you know, persons don't employ apprentices, people employ experts. You have to be an expert at what you're doing in order to get the job that you need. If you are an expert at something, you won't have to go around looking for jobs. Jobs will come looking for you. And do not allow the naysayers to cause you to say, well, this is a bad thing that the government is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a wonderful thing that the government is doing, in that when these robots come in, they make jobs more efficient, they make jobs more easier. Now, you don't want to be a person who you have studied to be a doctor, or you have studied to be a dentist, and instead of you going out to do your dental work or whatever, you have to be settling for housekeeping. The robots can do the housekeeping, ladies and gentlemen. What you need to do is do a course. Since as the robots are coming in, go and do a course now and find out how to repair these robots. Become a technician. Become a person that can fix these robots. When these robots come in, if they break down, they're going to need persons who can fix them. Just as how you have the cell phone come in, and then you have the phone technician. So when the robots come in, you now have to do a course where you can learn how to fix the robots. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you must understand that Jamaica must never lag behind when it comes to technology, because every country, ladies and gentlemen, is using robots in addition to human beings. So the robots are not to replace us, ladies and gentlemen. They are to support us. So, ladies and gentlemen, many of you here in Jamaica who are underemployed can get the job that you pay hundreds of dollars to study for, while the robots do the sweeping of the street. The robots do that, the cleaning up of the garage. The robots do that. Even I wouldn't mind if they have the robots, ladies and gentlemen, that would help with the house cleaning, and it will also save us money. You know, it will also save us money. Can you imagine you have a robot that you can program to clean up your place, to organize your place, and all of these stuff, make your place look neat? Then you wouldn't have to be employing domestic helpers, and those persons who would have worked as domestic helpers can go and do something something better with themselves in terms of getting a job that really pays. Instead of to work for minimum wage, they can go and get a job that really pays. Because I hear a lot of people complaining about the minimum wage, and they would never do anything to upgrade themselves. With with the AI, ladies and gentlemen, that the government is bringing in, persons will begin now to unleash their full potential. Instead of sitting down and waiting for a domestic, waiting to become a domestic helper. Can you imagine you're a graduate, and as you leave school, the first thing you want to do is becoming a domestic helper? No, ladies and gentlemen, you need to unleash your potential. You need to walk in your destiny. You need to fulfill your purpose. And if you're not destined to be a domestic helper, then you must not settle for that. You know, well, and also, ladies and gentlemen, why should you be left behind? Learn how to program the robots. Learn how to repair the robots. Learn, ladies and gentlemen, how to operate them, and all of these stuff. When you see government bringing in technology, learn how, go and do courses and how you can fix the technology, how you can operate the technology, and all of that, because your service is now gonna be needed, ladies and gentlemen. So, and I mean, can you imagine, instead of you going out on the street to do sales and all of that, you can program a robot and you can put them out there to do the sales while you do something else. It will help to improve production. The robots will help to improve production, ladies and gentlemen. There are many other things that I could say, but the bottom line is that it's a very good thing, ladies and gentlemen. I hear some people saying, oh, I don't know why persons voted for Mr. Holness when Mr. Holness is going to cause a lot of people to lose their jobs. No, ladies and gentlemen, the robots cannot replace human labor. What it is going to do is complement human labor, ladies and gentlemen. So, you at the office now, you're still going to need a secretary, but you're also still going to need the robots, ladies and gentlemen, that you can program to serve your coffee. You don't want to have your secretary serving your coffee. Your secretary are supposed to be doing the work of a secretary. They're supposed to be taking minutes. They're supposed to be taking notes. They're supposed to be assisting customers. Your robots can do all of that. Your robots can serve the coffee and all of these stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So they are there to complement us, just like how you have the washing machine and you still have people who wash with their hands. The washing machine did not replace the people that wash with their hands. It just made work more efficient. So you have some persons now who, you have some clothes, the majority of the clothes that you have now, you now put them in the washing machine deal with it for you. While there are some clothes that you cannot use the washing machine to wash, so you use them with your hands. But what the washing machine does is cut down your workload. What these robots will do is cut down your workloads. So they are not here to replace human service, and nobody will lose their job because the robots are gonna be here. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. It's good to have a robotic dog protecting your property, because the robot doesn't sleep, and the robots, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody destroy them, they can easily be replaced. And Who can replace a human life? So ladies and gentlemen, it's not, and there are certain aspects of security that machines won't be able to handle. Think about this. It's a good thing, ladies and